Please give me a moment while I go live on Facebook. It'll take just 1 second. Hope you're doing well. Again, we'll be getting started in just a second. Here we go, almost there. And it's not working. I may have to redo it. 1 second, please. Okay, that should do it now. Sorry about that. And I think we are finally live on Facebook. Took a while. Hi everybody, welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader. I am Sami Abusad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a great weekend so far. We're gonna get started by taking a look at the market, and then we'll go over some amazing swing ideas for next week. But before we do that, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. Also, if you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description below the video. But without further ado, let's turn on the charts and get started. If you find benefit in today's video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. And if you have any questions, reach out to info@t3live.com. But let's go ahead and jump in with both feet. Market is bullish. We have a daily buy setup on the chart of the Qs. That's the NASDAQ. Now, and the SPY is at all-time highs, just grinding up. It's really boring. Every week is almost the same, which is just a grind up. But let's not sleep on it without, so we want to make sure that the Qs does not break under that new pivot that formed on Thursday. So we want to make sure that the NASDAQ stays above 364.30. As long as we stay above 364.30, then the bias should be bullish for next week. As long as we stay above 364.30, okay? And then I'm all out bullish still. The IWM has been living in a world of its own almost the entire year. It's been sideways, almost the entire year, okay? But if we can break out over this base, I think the IWM is gonna rip if we can just take out the base. Now, let's just say 226.89. Okay, really the top, it's not an exact top to the base, but let's just say 225.21. And if you want to be extra safe, I would say 226.89. If we take out 226.89, then the IWM should start to break out, and I think we'll take out the all-time high, which is around like 230, 232 or so, and then start playing catch up with the SPY and the Qs. That's the market. Now let's talk about the swing ideas. I got a couple of big names for you for next week. The first being Apple. It broke out on Thursday, put in a narrow range bar on Friday. So over 149.44, I like it higher. Stop under 128.27. Now you might think, well, what about all that resistance to the left right here? Do we need to worry about it? Yes, maybe. So safer on Apple would be to put the entry over 150 instead of over 149.44. If we do that, then the stop is now bigger by 66 cents. Okay, that's kind of a decent increase in the stop, but it's a lot safer to play it over 150, the whole number, the all-time high, okay? On Apple, the stop would be under 148.27 still. Tesla has been basing, already called Tesla from $700, I believe. So been in it for a while, but I still like it over the base as an add to the position, and raise the stop from 619.99 under this base to this base's low, which is 697.60. Okay, so Tesla over 729.90. Let's just say 730 with a stop under 697.60 as a long-term play, with the target being the all-time high around $900 up here. That would be the target on Tesla. We want to talk about big names. What about Nvidia, which is also an open position in the SST newsletter? NVDA is doing a buy setup. Check it out. It triggered already on Friday, but it looks good. Nvidia as a long, okay? It triggered, but looks good still. Another big name, but not as big in market cap, is BIIB, Biogen, long. Another one that I would like to add to, over 347.34. Stop would be under 333. So over 347.34, let's say 347.50, because it's a spready stock. So you don't want to get tagged by the spread, basically, which is the difference between the bid and the ask. So over 347.50, let's just say, by 333. And target 1 would be 372. This bar is high, or this pivot. Target 2, who knows, could get to 450. EVBG is a base breakout. Now, it doesn't really look that good on the daily until you look at the weekly chart. Check it out. I mean, tell me that doesn't look good on the weekly. It really looks really, really good to me. Over the base, stop under it, and the target would be the prior all-time high as a long-term play. This is not a good swing play. Why? Because it's too sloppy. It's too much back and forth. But I like it more as a long-term play, not a short-term play. Geo, which is an open position in the newsletter also. I called it long over here. And it broke out and is doing really well. I like it as an add and reduce to add more to the position over 843, I believe. Let's check. 842. Stop would be under 814. Okay, and then the target is like $11. Has room to $11 basically on Geo. Hood, I don't like it that much, but I thought I would throw it out there as a buy setup. It is a buy setup. So we have a pullback. The buy setup triggered on Friday over 50.39, but it came back down to 50.60. So it's almost at the exact, what would have been the exact entry price on Friday. So it's a daily buy setup. Again, it's really messy, but could it go back up? It retraced about $50, maybe? Not quite. It's retraced $35 from the all-time high. So I like it as a buy setup, but I don't love it. If you're a subscriber to my program, you can log on to your T3 Live account and see which plays I will be taking myself, which plays I posted for tomorrow. The newsletter is already complete. Now, if you'd rather wait until 7:30 in the morning tomorrow, that newsletter will hit your inbox by about 7:30 a.m. East Coast time. But if you'd like to get it to take a peek, feel free to log on to your account right now. Open looks good as a 1, 2, 3. Open reminds me very much of the SSSS 4S's, which I called in the newsletter last week also, was in last week's video. Notice the breakout, the narrow range bar, and then over that long-term base, and then it got to target already. But it looks like it's still going to continue higher. $16 still looks like it's going to continue higher. Open is very similar. Gapped is going to clear the base, and then a 1, 2, 3. Now the target is not going to be the all-time high or whatever that target was on. I think it was the all-time high. It's going to be the 200 MA and this pivot maybe. Okay, on open. But it still looks good. It looks good as a 1, 2, 3. So a 1, 2, 3 entry would be over 1850. Stop under 1726. Okay, on the open. Out looks higher also. Over this bar's high, which is 25.27. Stop under the base, under this pivot, which is $24, 24.09, but give it a little bit of room. And then the target on this is the all-time high, about $30. Okay, has not much resistance on the way up at all the way to $29. PFSI is a nice hourly base breakout. Check it out. It's got a pullback and now a nice breakout over the base. Stop under it. A target, I don't remember what I picked as a target for this. Well, this is at the basing at the all-time high. So target 1 would be the prior high, which would be $70, 70.14, but let's just say $70. Target 2 would be you'd have to manage it because it's at the all-time high. There won't be any reference points to the left to use as a target area. So entry over the base, stop under it, target 1, and then target 2 TBD, to be determined. PLTR, I got in it on Wednesday, I believe, as an earnings play, and it gapped up 10%. It was very nice, but I like it. By the way, the earnings plays, if you're, if you've been taking them with me this quarter, very, very nice. And I hope this is indicative of the following quarters of, the earnings plays for the next few quarters. I hope should be good as well. The PLTR has a 1, 2, 3. So long over 25.10, stop under 24.30, and the target should be the prior high around 27.50, basically. So PLTR, I like it higher. SYNA came very close to triggering on Friday. I like it as a base breakout. Over the base, stop under it, all-time high. So the target is TBD, to be determined, okay? We don't know what the target is on SYNA. TA is, this is a longer term play, 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart. See that breakout? The narrow range bar, above the narrow range bar long, stop under it, long-term play. It's extremely thin, so I'm not going to talk about it much, but that's basically the TA. And then UGRO, which was an earnings play also on Thursday, gapped up, and I like it higher over this bar's high, 12.30, stop under 10.60. One can put the stop under $11 also, but I like the safety of using the breakout bars low as the entry, as the stop. This is also a unique kind of a setup. It's a long-term base breakout. Where's the target? Where's the resistance? It has no resistance. It could just keep going, I guess. And now I'm not a huge fan of base breakouts coming off the lows. That's a sign of weakness. But in terms of the UGRO, the daily is just so bullish. Look at that daily chart. Looks amazing. So I like it. ZNGA possible long. It's not my favorite, but I like it over 8.33 with a stop under $8 and target the 20 MA on the daily chart. It's going to be coming down to catch up with price, so who knows where it will be at, but maybe $9, maybe $9.25. It's going to depend on how long it will take for the ZNGA to catch up to the 20 MA. Okay. By the way, I forgot to mention, I usually mention this at the start of every video, that the list, both watch lists, bullish and bearish, were copied and pasted into the description of the video. So as a courtesy to you, so you wouldn't have to type them up one by one. It takes me 5 seconds to do. So I figure, why not? Okay, so if you want to copy it, it's in the description of the video. Here's the shorts. A lot of items. I have a lot of open short positions also that are, looking good, that are doing really well from last week. And there's a lot more to, if I want to also go crazy with the shorts. But it's going to depend on what the market does also the next couple of days. AVRO, base breakdown. So the entry for this would be under 585. Stop would be over 632. Over 632. AXSM. I mean, that looks nice. Look at the hourly chart. Under the base, short, stop above it. AXSM. CI is a daily sell setup. I would say under 208.70. One can also do it under 209, the whole number, which is Friday's low, 209.03, but let's just say 209. Stop over 213.13. And target would be at $199.60, $200. At least for target 1. Target 2 would be the 200 on the weekly, which is around 190. Okay, on the CI. SYNA, EPZM is a base breakdown. Like it short under 535 with a stop over 558. So it's about a 35-40 cent stop on the EPZM. ETON is a base breakdown. It's the same kind of play. Same kind of setup on all of these plays. Short under the base, stop above it. So the entry for this would be under 438, stop over 464. Okay, IG already triggered, should already be in it, but it looks good. I don't think that's too late to jump in on. Under $1.62, stop over $1.89. I don't know if that's going to be available or not. I'll find out tomorrow before the open when I log on to, when I try to locate it, because I'm not sure. Because last time I did the eyes, I tried to do the eyes short, which was back here. So this the IG reminded me of it. Same kind of setup. Gap down, base, breakdown. I couldn't locate it to short, and then it really, really worked. You might think, oh, that's not a big drop. It was a huge drop. But I wasn't able to locate it, so I don't know if the IG just reminded me of the eyes. I don't know if that's going to be available or not. FOA, gap down, narrow range bar, looks good as a short under 527. stop over 557, 30 cents stop, okay, on the FOA. Frog had a terrific gap down, I think at the beginning of last week, and then it has a sell setup now, rallied 3 bars, right? So 3 green bars or 3 higher lows. We have 3 higher lows. So short under 38.22, stop under 39, above 39.20. So that's a $1 stop, and target is going to be around $34. This bar is low, the prior pivot low. I'm not very exact when it comes to my entries. So for example, if I want to do this short, I'm not going to put the stop in the system, the stop limit order at 38.21. I usually give it a little bit of room because I don't want to get filled again due to any kind of spreadiness in the stock. I give it a little bit of room under that bar. And then likewise, when it comes to the stop, I'm not going to put the stop normally, unless the stock is super liquid. I don't put it 1 penny above. I might give it a couple cents above to make sure I don't get tagged accidentally, so to speak. INGN, base breakdown, short, stop. It's a little thin and spready, so I'm going to pass on it. But I thought I would include it in the list because it looks good on the hourly chart. A lot of these plays look good for sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the list, but they need to trigger. They need to break down or to break out before one can, play them, get in them. So make sure to keep that in mind. Sometimes I say the play looks good, and then the next day it just shoots up. Okay, no harm, no foul. It didn't trigger. It didn't actually breach that support area that I like to see broken first before I get into the play. SKLZ, I made a mistake on it. I should already be in it. It looks really good, broke down, so it looks good. And Friday it continued lower, so this is a little bit late now. I had it in last week's video. The entry should have been under 1190, so take a look. It's at 1135, 1133 in fact would be the new entry short. So that's 60 cents late almost, but looks good still. SKLZ looks lower. STIM had a gap down on Thursday, a narrow range bar the next day. So now it has that, my famous setup, the 1, 2, 3 after a gap down. So short under the base or under that bar's low on the daily chart. I use the hourly and the daily for swing trading. I also use the weekly and the monthly for to gain a long-term perspective on the stock, to see if the daily is, to see if it's going to be just a swing trade for a few days or a longer term play. So this would be a swing trade. Actually, it has plenty of room if it starts to break down. Short, stop, and look at the target. I mean, that's huge. Okay. On the STIM, STEM. STIM is a different kind of a play. It was a gap down too, but rallied for a while and now has a base breakdown. So this is very much similar to the INGN. See that? Gap down, and then STIM, gap down. Now, the INGN was an unbelievably bearish gap down because look at the day before. It broke out. We were in it as a swing trade. I called it as a swing trade over here. But it trailed out when it took out that narrow range bars low. Okay. Now, a couple days later, it reported earnings and it really looked higher into earnings. But I don't like it when they print a big green bar into earnings. That means the expectation is sky high. So if the company doesn't really report blowout numbers, it usually gaps down. So that means the expectations are baked in, very high expectations. At any rate, it gapped down. So check it out. Why was this bearish? Because every single person that the day before was expecting it to go up. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bought it like that. And it closed at the high, meaning everybody stayed in it long. If they sold it, you would have seen a big topping tail. No topping tail at all. From the open to the close, it was all buyers in control. And the next day, every single buyer was underwater, was caught and was sweating bullets probably. So this was a super bearish gap, not very suitable for day trading because it's very thin. But so the what I wanted to say is this is a much more bearish gap on this day. On this stock, it's a much more bearish stock. In general, it's under the 20, under the 200, downtrending already, is a much more bearish stock, but not as bearish of a gap. Okay, this wasn't as bearish of a gap, and yet it's a similar setup. Short under the base, stop above it. Target 1 would be the prior low, which is 721, and target 2 would be probably this pivot, which is $5. So it has two targets on the STIM. TSP, already kind of going. It's like the SKLZ. But I don't think it's too late. Under the base, the lowest point here, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what the lowest point is. It's 30.50. So really the correct entry should have been at 30.79, but a little late here. Under 30.50, stop over 33.20, 33.18, give it a couple cents, 33.20. So it's almost a $3 stop, but looks good. YALA is already an open position in the newsletter and looks lower still. It just needs to break under 10.35 with a stop over 11.10. And target, you have to zoom out to see where the support is, because when you're shorting, support is your target area, and resistance when you're playing long is going to be your target area when you're playing long. So 850, around 850, basically on the YALA as a target. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, be sure to hit the like button. That helps support our channel. And if you have any questions for me or any of us at T3 Live, send an email to info@t3live.com, info@t3live.com. Now, if you'd like to check out my services, links in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking around until the end. Until next time, this is Sami Abu Saad. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Enjoy.